Alright guys, in this video we're going to talk about my favorite topic. Neil knows this and everybody knows this who follows us, is credit. Credit is the entry point into the game, and it is the one thing that we can relatively easily help you manipulate if you listen to us. But how many people do you see have bad credit? And why? What do you see the biggest reasons for bad credit, Neil?
Well, the biggest reason, a lot of people don't care. They just don't care. They think it doesn't affect them, but they don't realize it affects you in every single thing you do. That's why he's so. It drives him nuts, anal, and it's so important to him. If your credit's good, everything else will fall into place.
Now, guys, let's talk about credit for a quick second from the standpoint of forget the actual score. Credit influences and impacts everything in your life. It influences your insurance rates, your interest rates.
I'm going to stop by.
It's going to also help you with regards to getting into an apartment, getting certain jobs, even dating. Some people, they look at your credit and they're saying, if your credit score is not good enough, I'm not going to be with you. You have to realize credit influences and impacts everything in your world. Every single American is judged by 3 digits, and those 3 digits are your credit score. So the credit scores range from 350 all the way up to 850. Ideally, for the most favorable loan conditions, you want to have a 620, but we can do loans on a daily basis at 580. If you have 10% or more to put down, we can even do below 580 and as low as 550 or maybe a little bit lower depending on certain circumstances. But the ideal goal here, guys, is to have a 620 credit score or higher. The higher the credit score, the more favorable the loan conditions, the less money out of pocket that you will need. Now, when you look at your credit score and you say, well, how do I get a good credit score? It comes down to 3 key components, guys. Payment history, which accounts for 35% of your score, and revolving credit utilization. How much credit do you have and how much credit are you using? These 2 things are the most heaviest weighing factors. They make up 65% of your score. Next is going to be age of credit or credit history. The important part here, guys, is you have to realize if you're not building and establishing credit, then lenders, banks, whatever it is, they have nothing to judge you on. So you have to make sure that you have at least a couple credit cards. Student loans, they're going to help you a little bit, but the problem is with student loans, car loans, personal loans, they have definitive timelines that when you finish paying that loan, that account closes and goes away. If you have a credit card, you can have a credit card indefinitely for 30, 40, 50 years as long as you build that card, you establish it, and you keep paying it on time so that they never close the account. Utilization is how much of that credit card's limit are you actually using. But the important part is set up a couple accounts. I would always recommend at least 3 cards. And to keep it simple, guys, if you don't have credit, you're probably going to have to get a couple secure credit cards. If you've got decent card or credit and you don't know what kind of cards to get, I would recommend going after cashback credit cards. The American Express Blue Cash Card, the Discover It card, the Citi Double Cash Card. These are credit cards that are going to give you cash back. Now, why is that important? Because your debit card doesn't give it to you. And your debit card doesn't report to the credit bureau. So you may be really good at using what's in your bank account and using the debit card, but the debit card doesn't report back to the bureaus, so that's not going to help you get a credit score. So it's really important for you to start setting up at least 3 credit cards. Make sure that you're only using, and this is my recommendation, 10% of the limit. So if the limit is $1,000, once you hit $100, you want to pay that card down. Pay it off to 0, pay it down to $5. As long as you continue to use the card, paying it to 0 is the best idea. One of my secrets that I teach everybody, if you pay your card every week or every 2 weeks, whenever you get paid, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, the utilization is never going to end up getting high, which is going to keep your score higher with a lower utilization. The second thing is your debt will never run away from you, so you shouldn't get into financial trouble, and you definitely won't be paying interest out. Paying interest out is a bad thing. It is money you are giving to the banks. That is how they get richer, and it's how people stay poor, okay? Credit card debt is the cancer of your finances. Remember that. Also, if you're making payments every 2 weeks when you get paid your paycheck, your payment history will always be 100% because you're never going to miss a payment. On-time payment history is 35% of your score, guys, and we already talked about that. It is so important. So when you're looking at your credit, it is so important to remember, establish a couple of accounts, only use 10% of whatever the limit is. It's okay if you have to use 30, 40, 50%. Pay it off on Friday or Thursday, whenever you get paid from your job or your employment. Pay it off immediately. Do not spend 30 days and then get your bill 15 days later and pay that bill, because now you've got 45 days of utilization on there. Don't do that. Every week, every 2 weeks, pay it. That will keep good on-time payment history, and that should help boost your scores. Guys, credit is the entry point into the game, so remember that if you don't have good credit, if you're not building and establishing good credit, banks and lenders are going to take advantage of you all day long. And it doesn't matter if it's for car insurance, if it's for a car payment. People have car payments with an interest rate of 17%. They have credit card rates where the interest rate is 17%. Do you know what your interest rate is if you pay every single month on time? 0%. Pay on time and you'll never pay interest on any of your credit cards. This right here is the most important thing to start, because without good credit, even if you make $100,000 a year, they're not going to give you a loan. Okay? So if you have any questions about this, make sure you reach out to us. This is something that's really important because, again, credit is the first step in the whole process. Make sure you have established good credit. Make sure you're monitoring good credit, and that's something else we could talk about. Use free tools. You do not have to pay to monitor your credit. I don't care what anybody tells you. Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, NerdWallet, Wallet Hub, Credit.com, and Mint by Intuit. I have all 6 of those things on my phone. Every single week I check those things. And if I ever have, let's say I apply for a new credit card, or when I was applying to refinance my house, the second that my credit was pulled, ding, 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 I got all these alerts and alarms saying, hey, somebody just ran your credit. That is good, and guess what? That is all free. So you don't have to pay for these credit monitoring services. If you have bad credit, it could make sense for you to hire somebody to try to help fix your credit, but that's a bad situation. That if it's that bad, we'll tell you, or come and talk to us first before you sign up for any credit repair people. Make sure you talk to us, because everybody and their brother claims to be a credit repair expert or specialist today. And most of them, they're not. They read a book, they think that they read Credit Secrets, so now they're a credit repair specialist. They help you send letters out there. When you dispute something on your credit report, ladies and gentlemen, what happens is it artificially inflates your credit score, because according to the credit bureaus, they're saying, well, maybe this item does or does not belong to you. So since it may or may not belong to you, we're going to give you the points back that we took away from you because of the negative item or the derogatory item. But if we find out that through this dispute that it actually is you, we're going to take those points back away from you. So a dispute, when you dispute an item, it's going to artificially inflate your score. But if we see a dispute when we pull your tri-merge credit report, if we see the dispute on there, it either has to be removed or we can't use your score because your score is not accurate. So I hope we covered that pretty well. Credit is so important. Let us know if you have questions. Do some homework. Do a little due diligence on yourself. Start reviewing things about credit. Go look in Credit Karma and Credit Sesame. If you dive into those apps, they'll give you a lot of information that's going to help you understand what do you need to do on a daily basis so that you can have a good credit score. All right, hope you guys liked all that information in this one. We're going to see you in the next video, which is going to talk about assets.